So anyways, you know, you want to know what really cocks my kilt sideways? My fellow Christians, because I just, it's one of those rants again, because I get really frustrated and just it's like, I know what they're trying to say. I'm gonna go through this whole thing because, like, there are certain terms that I don't particularly like. Now, there's a lot of disingenuous bullshit. There's a lot of crazy thought, crazy ideas, dispensational bullshit. There's a lot of that stuff. And I don't know. Like, I'll give you an example. It's just something that irritates me. Because you. Actually, before I go into that, let me explain why it irritates me. Because I get what they mean. You get what they mean. Most people get what they mean when they say that. But your average normal stiff who doesn't know anything about God, they don't get what we mean. So, for example, the term, when we refer to Jesus as the Son of God, I don't like that term. Son of God. I don't like that term. Now, I understand Son of God in the sense of, like, like, what, I get it in the classical sense, because that's kind of what it's referring to, the classical sense of the term. Because Jesus is supposed to be God, so they're not different. It's not like God. See, when you have people who don't understand that, and you've got these well-intended, brain-dead Christians, they Son of God, Son of God, Son of God, oh, it insinuates that God had sex with someone and had a child. God impregnated Mary. Well, he did. So he banged a bitch. And it puts weird baggage into all of that. I don't particularly like that concept. I don't like the idea of the Son of God. Like, we're the Son of Man. It's a classical sense. And a lot of people take it as a literal, okay, well, actually, it is a literal thing, because he did impregnate Mary. Now, did he have sex with her? No. But you can't help but have that correlation, because we think of it from our point of view, and and again, I don't particularly like that concept. So if you've got a bunch of stiffs who don't get it, and they're like, oh, God had sex, no, that's not what it's about. But it is kind of what happened in that situation. But okay, whatever. But just certain terms, it bugs me. They bug me, because again, Christ isn't the Son of God. He is God. Like, I'm not. Yes, I'm the son of Dale D. Dear God, fucking help me, throw me in the fucking ditch, beat me in the head, whatever. But in the biblical sense, I would be Dale T. Dear God. Okay, and Dale T and I would be one. We're not one. We're two separate things. So when you say the Son of God, it insinuates that they're two separate things. Technically, they are. But I look at the Trinity like the. I would equate the Trinity to a woman. In the sense that you could take a woman who they refer to it as wearing different hats. For example, she could be a mother, she could be a wife, she could be in the business world. So you have the same woman doing three distinct different roles. Like, she's not going to treat her children how she would treat people at work. She's not going to treat her husband like she would treat her children. At least, unless he's into that. But whatever. The adult diapers and the big furniture, whatever. That's, fetish 101, but whatever. It's the same person doing different shit. Now, I'm going to argue a simple fact that God the Father doesn't give a flying fuck about us. He has left us for dead. Now, Jesus might care, but God the Father... Now, this is one of the problems. This is one of the things I struggle with, and I'm just going to throw it out there, that God really doesn't give a flying fuck about any of us. He set this little petri dish of bullshit in motion and just kind of went, bloop, and washed his hands of it. Okay? He's like the pilot to our Jesus. Okay, it's that simple. Now, I still have faith, and because of that, I have to believe that on the microscopic level, God gives a fuck. Okay, like he is the ether that holds our cells together and holds our molecules together. He is that driving force, and that God is interwoven into every little minute detail, and that is what keeps things going. But as far as like the I'm gonna get raped in the back alley, he doesn't seem to give a fuck all that much. Because, well, it's it's a blessing either way. No, it's not a blessing. I gotta rock her dick up my ass. It's not a blessing in any way, shape, manner, or form. Especially when I didn't ask for it. Oh, but you gotta praise God in the good times and praise God in the bad times. You know what? I gotta be honest with you. It does nothing. It does nothing. Nothing. Now it may do something in the future, like you gave glory in that moment in that time, and here's a heavenly treasure, whatever the fuck that would be. I can't even grasp what a heavenly treasure is. I mean, to me, just being in heaven is the treasure. But what a trinket? He's gonna give me a crown. The fuck I want a crown for? Give me an N64. Okay, give me a wok so I can cook some food in it. Give me something I give a fuck about. I don't need no goddamn crown. First, if you're gonna need a big one, because I got a big fucking head. That's neither here nor there. What the fuck do I want a crown? Oh, a crown and a robe. Woo! Yeah, that's worth getting fucked in the back alley for. Now, listen, I get it. I understand it. Whatever. But seriously, a crown and a robe. Ooh, boy, don't knock yourself out there, God. Uh, I mean, seriously, the fuck is all that shit? I'd rather take $20, to be honest with you. Even if I'm left naked in the ditch in heaven, I don't give a fuck. I'd rather take the $20 now so I can do something with it and enjoy this putrid fucking existence that he dumped us in. Because, let's be honest, how many trillions upon gazillion planets are there? Oh, sure, yeah, let's just dump Satan here and his little fucking gaggle of cocksuckers. Let's dump them here with the fucking idiot humans who can't see them or grasp them. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, couldn't dump them on the fucking moon. Yeah, couldn't dump them on fucking Mars. Yeah. Let's dump them in our backyard. Okay, give me a fucking break. Stuff like that just irritates the Jesus out of me on so many fucking levels I can't even process it half the time. We're talking multi-trillions of fucking planets. Potential, not even potential. Fuck that. Fuck life. They could have been dumped anywhere. They could be floating in space with their dicks hanging out for all I give a fuck. Okay. And again, where does God dump them? Right here. Sure. Why not? Why not? Why the fuck not? All the fucking places he could put them motherfuckers. That's a problem to me. And then sit there and say, well, it's free will, and you chose the wrong side of free will, and you sinned, and the wages of sin is death. No, I'm sorry, I'm not buying that bullshit anymore. Now I understand it's the Bible and that's what it says, and I'm supposed to believe it. And I on some level do, but I'm getting tired of that excuse because you can't set the dominoes up, and then when they knock over, get pissed off that they fell in the pattern that you put them in. Again, God created everything from nothing, so why does hell exist? Why? Why? Now, my personal belief on that is very simple. Let's say God is interwoven into every little minute detail of life. Okay, and if you're an atheist and you want to reject God, and God is part of existence, and you're rejecting that part of existence, then you should be put in a place where you get what you want. You literally got a godless existence. So, what does the Bible say about God? God is light. Okay, so you're in a place where there's no light. God is love. You go into a place where there's no light, there's no love. And you just check off the list. That sounds a lot like hell to me. Okay. Now, it's torment because we have an innate reasoning that we want these things, that we need these things. That, I think, is what hell is. The things that you need, the things that you want, the things that you desire are no longer there. I don't mean desire like, I desire $1 million. No, I mean like, your basic shit, like in a human sense, food and water, shelter, that kind of stuff. So where would you be? A place with no water, a place with no food. It'd almost be like being in space. but you're still alive somehow. You know, it's one of those kind of concepts where it's like you're away from the things that you need. And okay, I could dig that, you know? If because a lot of time, let's be honest, all these atheists are like, oh, there's no God. I don't see no God. You live what, 60, 70, maybe if you're very lucky 100 years. Out of 100 years, out of a gazillion fucking hours of existence, since day one, you've seen it all. You've been from one end of the universe to the other. And you've seen, and oh, there's no God. You're talking measly 60 fucking years. You can count it in, you can literally count that in hours. We can count our lifespan in hours, okay? And you're going to sit there and say, well, I see God, so God doesn't exist. I'm an atheist. Oh. Okay. Whatever. You know? It's like, I don't know how to do nuclear fusion, but I believe it exists. Okay, I believe it's a thing. Okay, I don't need to know how it works. I don't need to, you know, experience. I understand Christians use a stupid concept. Oh, it's like the wind. You see it blow through the tree. I guess that is a logical, simplified example, but it's kind of a pussy example. To be honest with you, it's kind of a weak ass example. But whatever. I'm not gonna nitpick that. But you know, it's just kind of annoying because everybody uses it. But to me, I think it's deeper than all that. Because, I mean, listen, here's the thing. If you're going to talk atheism, okay, the interesting... Now, I can't speak for other religions. I can only speak for Christianity. And I want to get into another topic here next, but when Christians do what they're supposed to do, and that's not be assholes, but when we do what we're supposed to do, good things come from that. When we love our neighbor, good things come from that. When we respect all people, good things come from that. When we go into all the world and preach the gospel of Christ, good things do come from that. When we do what we're supposed to do, that's when good things come. It's when we act like fucking retards and... Okay, when we do that fucking bullshit, and we use terms that the stiffs don't get, and we do things like defend Nazis and pedophiles and bullshit, when we defend that fucking crap, and we said, oh, the war on Christmas. There's no goddamn war on fucking Christmas. If there was, it wouldn't be fucking Christmas decorations in June, you assholes. Anyways, when we sit there and we prattle on about stupid shit, oh, Donald Trump is anointed of God, again, I will state this for the fucking record. So is cancer. That doesn't mean I fucking want it. That doesn't mean I fucking glory in it. That doesn't mean I take his filth and bullshit and glory in that fuck. Okay, I am sick and tired of that. I'm sick and tired of guys like Jim fucking Baker, who piss me off, by the way, because that little cocksucker should know the difference. He should know better. He should fucking know better. PTL bullshit down his little fucking water slide of bullshit. Okay? Sinking millions of dollars from people to build that fucking water park, a PTL water park bullshit. And he went to fucking prison for that shit. And I read his little fucking book. In his book, he was apologetic. He repented. And I was like, you know what? After reading his book, and I don't read books, but after reading his book, I was like, you know what? I think he's going to go do something great now. I think he's going to be something great. And what's he do? Falls right into the same Christian bullshit. Oh, Trump is great. Trump, he's son of God. Oh, no. You go against Trump, you're going against God. Well, then you know what? Then I go against your God, because your God fucking sucks. If Trump is his spokesman, and no, don't get me wrong, I understand. God can use anybody. I understand that brain-dead fucking argument. Because here's a newsflash. Yeah, you know what? God used King David. God used Noah. God used whoever. But here's a newsflash. Most of those fucking people had a desire to be right with God. Trump has no desire for any of that bullshit. He has no desire for any of that bullshit. And there's this one Christian page that I follow on Facebook, and they keep posting, "Oh, Trump is Christian," and they post this question or this comment that Trump made that oh, you'd be surprised that that people are surprised when they find out I'm a Christian, and they keep posting that like it's something fucking special. And I've noticed that a lot of people in there are like, "Hey, he's not Christian, he's an asshole," and I appreciate that because I dig people who can see the fucking truth. Because you look at his shit, and now you got these idiot fucking brain dead people. Like, well, you don't know his heart. Only God knows his heart, and God bless Trump, and thank God he's our president. Blah, 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 blah. That imbecilic fuck. Here's the thing: we do know his heart. Because what's the Bible say? A good tree will not produce bad fruit. That motherfucker is nothing but bad fruit. 24/7. Bad fuck fruit. Bad fuck fruit. All the time. Bad fucking fruit. All the time. The idea he's taking immigrant children away from their parents and putting them in fucking cages. Okay, well, that's not his law. Yeah, but you know what? Executive order, he could change that. He don't want to change it. He wants to enforce it. He likes that idea. Republicans like that idea because it's a deterrent from coming into the country. Well, you know what? Here's a newsflash. Christianity and Republicanism do not mesh, because here's a newsflash. You know what Jesus said? He said, go into all the world and preach the gospel of Christ. Well, here's a newsflash for you, motherfucker. They're coming into our country, to us. They're coming to us. We are supposed to witness to them. What do? No, we're going to build a wall. We're going to make them pay for it. We're big bad Christians. Okay, bullshit. Bullshit. They are coming to us. I should be down there on the fucking border right now. Okay? I'm not, and I admit that. I'm an asshole. Okay? I'm an asshole. I admit it. I totally admit it. And I'm not going to sit there and parse words with that either. I'm a complete asshole. You don't have to go to Bangladesh to witness to people. Witness to people right in your own freaking backyard, okay? And these motherfuckers are coming to us, yet I don't see Christians down at the fucking border handing out Bibles and water bottles. I see them, we're going to build a wall for Jesus. Jesus cares. Jesus wants a wall. Jesus don't want a fucking wall. Jesus does not want a wall. Jesus wants you to stop being a fucking imbecilic prick. That's what he wants. You're a biblical imbecilic prick. You need to get right with Jesus, literally. Go into all the fucking world and preach the gospel of Christ. And the motherfuckers are coming to us. They're coming to us in droves. And yet we're not down there doing anything about it. We want to shun them. We want to cast them away. Okay, you ever read the Bible where it talks about, the Good Samaritan? Again, I love the idea, and you got these motherfuckers from the pulpit. Oh, the Good Samaritan, Good Samaritan. The others passed by, and the Good Samaritan, picked him up and helped him up. Okay. But yeah, then when it comes to real-world examples of that actually literally playing out, we're like, build the wall. Do you know how much that pisses me off? The amount of bullshit that they propagated to us from the fucking pulpit year after year, and then they turn around with their Republican bullshit and say the exact opposite. That so pisses me off. I can't describe to you how much that irritates me, because you indoctrinate me with bullshit, because it has to be bullshit, because the Republicans are the way to go. Republicans are Jesus party. The Republicans are great. It's one or the other. Gotta be better than those damn libtards, those liberals trying to destroy America. First off, fuck America. I'm gonna throw that out to you. From the bottom of the biblical barrel of bullshit, fuck America. Okay? I'm gonna let you in a little secret. America is not the wonder that you make it out to be, Christian. Okay? Not. You can sit there and wish in one hand and crap in the other, and I damn sure know which one gets filled first. Okay? No, you want to talk about God using something or someone that's bad, or he can use anybody to his advantage. This is one example. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I'm honestly starting to think that this right here, America, was Satan. It had nothing to do with God. Really, it really didn't. God is using it. I believe that God is using this country, but I don't believe Because we have this wonderful little narrative. Oh, God set this nation apart for the church, and the church could prosper, and it's just so great. No, I think God is using this wicked, awful, fuck up nation so that the church can thrive. The church is thriving literally in Babylon. I mean, think about that. That's how it works. That's how anything in the Bible works. There was always a remnant. There was always that thing that's right in the middle of all the bullshit. Lot and his family in the middle of the bullshit. And they will be raptured out. They will be spirited away at the last second, not 7 years prior. Don't even get me started with that dispensational bullshit. Because those verses do not say that. You read them, they don't say that. You can twist them all the fuck you want. They don't say that. And none of the Bible stories show that. Again, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They weren't taken out 7 years. They were thrown into the fucking fire. Motherfucker looked in the fire. Oh, there's 4 guys. We threw only 3 in. What the fuck? They're standing there dancing, having fun, singing. What the fuck? Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel wasn't taken out 7 years prior. Motherfucker's right in there. He's petting the fucking lion's balls. He's a cupping the fucking thing. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Okay, bullshit. Bullshit. Noah, he wasn't taken out 7 years. The minute he closed that, rain was coming down, he closed that fucking ark door. Okay, so don't sit there and tell, oh, the church, oh, God cares about the church. If God doesn't give a flying fuck about me getting ass raped in a fucking back alley somewhere, he don't give a flying fuck about the church. Oh, the bride of Christ. The bride of Christ needs a kick right in the fucking tits, and that's a collective, and it's the truth. Okay, we're a bunch of spiritual fucktards, and we need to get right with Jesus, and that's a fact. Don't even get me started with that. Now I want to go back and talk about this, the whole... Now I don't hate America. I don't want to get that impression. But America is not the sugar-coated, cookie-coated bullshit that we are making it out to be. Everything since day one has been tainted bullshit. Okay, oh, our founding forefathers had a desire for Christ. First off, no, they didn't. I'm sorry, they didn't. They may have talked a good game about spiritual things, may have even talked about Jesus at a time or two, but the point of this country was to have freedom of religion. Not only of, but from religion. You have freedom from religion. I can be an atheist. I could be a Christian. I could be a Buddhist. I could be whatever the fuck I want to do. I could worship my own penis. Whatever, if I could find it. Whatever. We have freedom of that. Well, guess what? That is not God. God says, first commandment, thou shalt not have any other gods except for thee art thou. Well, guess what? Thee art thou said, go fuck yourself. We've already broken the first commandment. And again, the only commandment, literally, that this country has not broken is honor thy father and mother. We have Mother's Day and Father's Day. That's the only one, which is what, number 5 or 6, whatever the fuck it is. The rest of them, we shit on daily. So Big Bad Christian Nation can't even uphold 10 fucking prominent rules from God, really? No, I've asked this question before. If we are a Christian nation, we're this big bad booty nation here for Christ, why do we have Roman architecture in our nation's capital? Why? We have Roman architecture. You want to talk about the revival of Roman Empire? We are a culmination of all these things. We have hints of Egypt. We have hints of Babylon. We have hints of Rome. We have hints of whatever. We are the... Dude, I'm sorry. This country is the fucking beast. I mean, you can't deny that. Who can make war with the beast? Now, the beast is also a person. Don't get me wrong. I equate like the president with the country, so it's like one and the same. So when it says the beast, it's talking about the country or the people that he is ruling, and it's also talking about the individual person. So I want to make that clear. And I think it's interchangeable because technically, like, the president of the United States is America. He is the embodiment of America right now, which is just fucked up, but whatever. And you know, he wields that power. He was given that power. He wields that power. So when I say that, I just want to make that clear that I'm saying that it's also a man and the country itself. But this country is the beast. We are. No other country has outposts and military bases all around the fucking world. Rome never did, not back in the day. I mean, they may have conquered. See, the problem is here. The kicker is we're doing it right now because Rome, back in the day, as well as others, but Rome specifically, they tried to just conquer the land. They'd go in, rape and kill everybody, take it over, and be like, oh, and you look at a map and there's a big red blotch, and the big red blotch kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger as they kept expanding. Well, here's the problem. That takes resources, that takes people, that takes bullshit. And you eventually run out of that. You get so big that you literally collapse under the weight of your own bullshit. We right now, we're doing it proper. We have bases we run this country. We not only this country, but this country runs the world. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Whether we have sanctions on certain people. Now we got certain players who think there's something special, like China, big deal. Russia, big deal. Europe, big deal. We manipulate them. We throw money at them. We manipulate them. Like Pakistan. We own Pakistan. They can sit there and be like, oh, we're going to hide Bin Laden. Whatever. They ain't shit. Okay? They'll fall right in line like anybody else. That's what this whole Arab Spring bullshit is. So that all these little bullshit countries can all fall into line. That's all it is. We can prop up these little puppets that we control. That's what it was about. That's what Iraq was about. Now, again, I have 3 conspiracy theories about Iraq. Why we went there. One, because W was upset that Saddam was threatening Daddy. So he's going to yeehaw, go Texas style on his ass. That's one. 2, they have some sort of space age technology. Stargate or whatever. Babylon, bullshit. Okay, they got something there. And there's actually some potential truth to some of that, because there was there was a lot of stuff. Or 3rd, we were just doing it to propagate the Arab Spring. Well, that was supposed to be the beginning. Well, that in Afghanistan was supposed to be the beginning of the Arab Spring. Why do you think Drudge Report and all these other Republican bullshit back in the day, I think it was 95, 96? Or no, excuse me, 2005, 2006, whatever it was, when they voted for the first time, because before they'd vote, and it was like one name on the ballot, Saddam, and if you didn't vote for Saddam, he'd fucking kill you. Okay, hey, that's good marketing, to be honest with you. Hey, most politicians just give out a little pad and paper. This motherfucker said live or die. I'm like, ching, I'll vote for his ass. Why not? And remember, I don't remember if you remember, but back in the day in Drudge, they dipped their little finger in the ink, and they'd hold up their little finger, and they had a little ink blot on their finger showing that they voted, so they couldn't vote more than once. Mark of the beast, but whatever. Hints of the mark of the beast, I should say, not the actual. Not that we're going to put ink on our finger. Well, you get my point. And the whole point of that was so that other Arab nations would say, hey, I want to vote too. I want to be able to have freedom too. And it was supposed to catch on like wildfire. Well, it didn't, so they had to start the Arab Spring. And then all of a sudden, this nation fell. Then Gaddafi, I think, was... Basically, it pretty much went Afghanistan, then Iraq, something else. I think there may have been something else, and then Gaddafi. And then once that started to topple, then all the others, because Egypt was in our back pocket, Turkey was in our back pocket. We've been milking these fuckers for a while. Saudi, same thing. We've been milking these fuckers for a while. They think they're running stuff in their area. Because again, unlike Rome back in the day, where it's like we would just go in and conquer the Saudis, or we'd go in and conquer Europe, or we'd go in and conquer all these places. Why do that? Let them front the grunt work, while we just sit there and say, how about you do this? Or we'll put sanctions on your ass and fuck you over. So it's like, you let the individual territories do their own thing, as long as they comply in the end game. I gotta be honest with you, that's far better. That's far better than trying to expand the empire across the fucking galactic empire, across the galaxy, Again, that shit takes resources. That shit takes money. That takes manpower that you just don't have. And again, it will collapse under its own weight. Right now, all we have to do is prop ourselves up. If the rest of the world fell, yeah, it would fuck the entire world. See, that's the weird thing, especially after World War II. The way everything's set up, if one nation fucks up and it shits the bed, we might be able to like infuse Greece's economy bullshit, and like if they collapsed or something, or Spain or some little place, places like that, we might be able to take those in and deal with that. I'm trying to think of the right word. Like whatever. Like if they fucked up, we could probably absorb that shit. But if China shits the bed, Russia shits the bed, America shits the bed, we're all fucked. I mean, it literally is a house of cards of bullshit because we're fucked. But, whatever. But anyway, again, let's talk about this Christian nation. How does a Christian nation have fucking erect penis monuments from Egypt over reflecting pools? And again, if you know anything about occultic bullshit, you look into the reflected, as above, so below bullshit. That's what it is. It's like these people who put creamer in their coffee and they watch the swirl and they look at it and they see visions of the future and shit. That's what it is. The black mirrors and all this other bullshit. I don't know if you've seen any of that stuff, but seriously, there's certain black mirrors that if you do look into, you start to see shit. I'm not kidding. I had one on YouTube, and I was sitting there watching it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I started seeing shit. It was like, dude, it was freaky. Like you could actually do it yourself. It's not one of those, you need a psychic mystic twinkle or some fucking thing. No, it's creepy. It's legitimately fucked up. Now, I don't know what that is, if it's just the mind playing tricks or what the fuck, but whatever. But again, why does a Christian nation have Egyptian monuments that are dedicated to pharaoh penises over reflecting pools in front of Roman architecture? We are a conglomeration of the entire world. What is Babylon? The world. It's the world system. It's always been that way. We are a conglomerate of the entire world setup. That's what this quote-unquote Christian nation is all about. Let's forget the fact that our founding forefathers, at least 13 of them, were fucking Freemason asshole Illuminati fucktards. Let's forget all about that. George Washington. Oh, yeah. George Washington, we put him on such a fucking pedestal. The guy was a scumbag. He really was, when you think about it. He may have been great in certain areas. He may have been a good leader and all that bullshit, and that's fine. I'm not... And again, I don't want to say scumbag in a negative way. I'm saying scumbag in, like, the Illuminati sort of way. But I just have this really bad feeling that their intention was not as pure as we've been told it was. Because you understand, I was told at age 18 that I'm supposed to hate Bill Clinton because he's a Democrat. He's a son of a bitch. And now you could say, well, okay, maybe he's accused of sexual misconduct. Okay, you could hate him for that. No, we didn't hate him. When we were 19, 18, 19, 20 years old, we didn't hate Bill Clinton because he was having an affair. We hated him because he was a Democrat, and we were Republicans. That's the only reason we hated him. I can tell you right now, I had legitimate disgust for the guy. Like hatred, putrid, fucking evil in my heart for the guy. And it directed from the pulpit, and I don't appreciate that. So when I think back to that, and then I think back to all this other bullshit about, our founding forefathers were good Christian men, and I hear that bullshit, I can't help but question that. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But I've been lied to from the pulpit before for a fucking political agenda of bullshit. Because here's a newsflash, the Koch brothers don't give a fuck about you. Ayn Rand don't give a fuck about you. If anything, you want to talk about Antichrist, talk about Ayn Rand. Her belief system is Antichrist. At least the liberals, you can say liberals are just idiots. They just want to hand out stuff to everybody because they want to help people out. Okay, at least it's noble at the end of the fucking day. Ayn Rand, Paul Ryan, bullshit. That is not noble. That is not anything of any merit that we as Christians should be adhering to. Yet we just ball sack that fucker right into the end zone. I don't know, man. Again, I know what I was told to believe, and then I hear other things, and now it's like I hated him. And you can understand, I hated the man. I legitimately wished he would die. Bill Clinton, I'm referring to, with venom and spit and just head spinning around, this split pea soup flying out of my asshole. Okay, like The Exorcist. Okay, it was like I hated the guy, and now the problem is I don't think the pulpit was doing it intentionally, but they were misleading us. They were using us. They were. Because you gotta understand, I don't want to hate Pastor Morin. I don't want to hate Pastor Graz or any of these people. And I don't hate them. And I don't want that to come across when I say that. Pastor Simmons, all of them. Because I genuinely believe they meant well. But they fucked up. They really did fuck up. They really, really did fuck up. In a lot of areas. And a lot of that was due to Carl and his bullshit. And I understand that. And I've talked about this before, but Pastor Morin had a almost, I'd say almost sexual lust for this guy. Now I don't mean that in a weird way, but it was, when you think about a sexual lust and how difficult that is to overcome, I'm referring to it in that sense. Not that he was jerking off to Pastor Stevens' photos or anything. I don't mean it in that sense, but like an addiction. Addiction would be a better way to say that. He had an addiction with that guy. Like he would tell us, "Oh, when I was in Bible college, I'd follow him around. I'd stalk him basically. And I'd wait by his car, and we'd go to reps after after the sessions, and I'd pick his brain about the nuggets of the Bible and all this bullshit." It was unhealthy. It was an unhealthy obsession with the guy. Because the guy was a fucking cult leader, whether you want to admit it or not. I understand a lot of people from Greater Grace are like, "Oh, he's a great man of God," blah, 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 blah. Listen, God can use anybody, and I believe he did use Pastor Stevens, and I do believe he uses Greater Grace. But they had a lot of baggage and a lot of bullshit. They do. I mean, I think all churches do on some level. Where they have their own political agenda. I mean, literally, it's run by one guy. And if you see, that's the beauty of Christianity, because especially when it comes to politics in the church, I don't mean like Republican politics. I mean just the politics of church itself, like in the inner workings. It's like, oh, you got to give your pastor double honor, and if you disagree with him, well, you're a fucking heathen. You're an asshole, and you're going to be shunned. Just like if you don't agree with us, we're gonna castrate you. We're gonna ostracize you, and you're gonna be put at arm's length. Because you didn't agree with us. What kind of shit is that? I understand you've got to keep bad elements out, but if somebody's coming to you with a legitimate concern of, I think you fucked up, I think you're wrong, and I've used this example, and I will continue to use it. If people like Michelle Bachmann and Sarah fucking Palin, they want to use, and Republicans specifically, the "you don't work, you don't eat." Now, I'm going to let you in a little secret. I don't think 2,000 years ago Paul was saying, "You don't work, you don't eat" to grandma. You don't work, you don't eat to fucking disabled people. You don't work, you don't eat. If you actually read the verses before and after, you will get a picture of what he meant by that. He's saying, "I command unto you that if you don't work, you don't eat, because when I went to your church and it was something to do, I did it. I did the work. And I'm telling you to do the same. So if somebody needs something, you help them. If something needs to be done, you do it." That's what it's saying. It's not saying if you don't work, you don't eat, in the simple sense. Okay, it's against government handouts. It had nothing to do with that bullshit. Nothing to do with that. Basically, the example is, whenever my mother would do missions week, and the toilet was clogged, Pastor Morin, Pastor Graz, maybe Pastor Simmons. But those guys, they wouldn't take off their suit coat and roll up their sleeves and say, "Where's the plunger?" Pastor Moore would be, ask Penny, where's Penny? She'll deal with it. You know, these motherfuckers acted like they were rock stars. They did. They roll in their fancy cars and okay, and it was just that's what it was talking about. Now I'm telling you right now, if the toilet was plugged, Paul would be there with a plunger. If there's something to do and there's a need, you fill it. That's what it's saying. That's what the verse, if you look at it and you read it verse for verse, the entire thing, and not just that one little snippet, that's what it's saying. He's saying, I am doing these things, and I want you to do the same. I command you to do the same thing. Now, where the liberals get off, they want to say, well, Jesus fed to 5,000. Jesus fed to 4,000, 3,000, 9,000, 100,000. Who gives a fuck? He fed everybody. Okay, and that's not a picture of your government or your king giving you free food. That's not what that's about. Jesus was never about any of that. When you look at what Jesus said, he was about the here and now. Doesn't matter. Stop worrying about here and now. Those things will fulfill themselves. Let the dead bury the dead. Fuck all this. Stop worrying about this minute by minute, second by second. What am I going to do in other words, like, don't think about what am I going to eat tomorrow because tomorrow might not come. Worry about here and now, but don't worry about in the sense of, how do I want to word that? He was more about, well, things will basically work themselves out, essentially. That's why he fed the 5,000. Had nothing to do with anything else. Again, it goes right back to everything he was saying from day one. Be born again. How do you be born again? The disciples were like, well, how do you go back into your mother's womb? And he's like, no, dumbass, we're not talking physically, we're talking spiritually. We're talking, think outside of this moment. Think long term in a spiritual sense, not long term in tomorrow. In other words, think, vertically versus horizontally. Which is the whole point of Christ. That's the whole point of Jesus. That's the whole, everything he talked about, everything he tried to teach the disciples was about look upward, don't look to tomorrow. Now, yeah, okay, realistically, I got to worry about what am I going to have for tomorrow. I only go to the store twice a month. So I basically have to go from now until next Tuesday, and this is Tuesday, so I got to go a whole week, and I got to make sure I got food in the house. Okay. And if I don't, what's going to happen? I don't have anything for 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, whatever. I don't want to do that, so I have to, I do have to think ahead. So, again, it's kind of a catch-22, because it's like, I shouldn't worry about these things, but I have to kind of keep it in the back burner, as in, okay, if I bought lunch meat, cheese, and some bologna, or some bread, that's only going to last me 3-4 days. What do I do the rest of the time? So I got to think ahead, So it's kind of a catch-22. It's like you have to think about certain things, but don't dwell on those things. Plan for the future. Like, oh, next week we're going to do something. Okay, fine. You want to do stuff to gear up toward that? Fine. But all you have is right now. And it shouldn't be horizontal. It should be vertical. And that's not what these people are talking about. They think it's all horizontal. You don't work, you don't eat. Fuck you, Grandma. Go eat a dick, Grandma. You can give the Velveteen dream to somebody. Velveteen rub. You can take out your teeth and go suck a dick. Okay? You can get money. And I'm sorry, that's not what it's about. It's not about making money. It's not about any of that bullshit. It's not. Like I said, I don't know. We've been told stuff, and it just pisses me off. I'm not seeing the happy-go-lucky bullshit that we were told. Oh, we're a Christian nation. We're not a Christian nation. We're not. Not in any stretch of the imagination. If we were Christian, then guess what? We would demand everybody believe in Jesus. Okay, that's not what this nation does, so therefore it is not a Christian nation. If anything, this nation should be stoned because it's anti-Christ. It is against God. It's saying you can worship whatever you want. We have this belief that, it's a Christian nation, so it's going to be led by Christians. No, that's not how it works. We are a neutral nation when it comes to God. You want to believe? You don't want to believe. You want to believe this way versus that way. You want to believe Protestant, whatever, throw out the different terms. Dispensationalist bullshit. You want to believe in that. You want to believe in Catholicism. You want to believe in, whatever. More power to you. That's not Christian. Christian is yes, no. Our country is not yes or no. Our country is whatever you want to believe, you believe it, and go and do the best you can in that. You want to be an atheist? Do the best you can in that shit. So again, we are not a Christian nation. And all these people who want to sit there and act otherwise. Because what happens is you have these well-intended Christians, and Ted Cruz, a good example, well-intended. Dumber than a bucket of shit, well-intended. Michelle Bachmann, well-intended, full of shit. Sarah Palin, well-intended, full of shit. And they spew out all this crap, and they spew out all this bullshit. And of course, they say the right things. They say the right things, and all the Christians are like, ha 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 ha. While the rest of everybody else is looking around saying, what the fuck? Now again, I've been lied to from the pulpit myself. Now, I don't think they intended to lie, but they did tell lies, whether they meant to or not. Political bullshit lies. And that's what it comes down to. Keep your goddamn politics out of your goddamn pulpit, because I'm telling you right now, the two don't mix. You're going to tell me that the liberals are bad? I'm going to tell you, you should look at your own fucking backyard before you start blaming anybody else. What was that verse that Chris was talking about? The, don't try to take the mote out of your brother's eye when you got a beam in your own eye. That's a perfect word picture. You got a fucking 10-foot beam sticking out of your fucking eye. How are you supposed to take a little speck out of their eye? I mean, think about that. It's a great word analogy. It's a great word picture. You're going to sit there and tell me how bad the liberals are. And what's great about it is, well, the Bible does say that the good will be bad and the bad will be good. That'll come a time. Well, you know what? That's been going on since day one. You look at Sodom and Gomorrah, you look at different churches and shit in the different cities. The Bible says that there were certain Christian cities, or cities that were supposed to be right, supposed to be on par with God, who were so heathenistic bullshit, they were so backslidden, that they actually made Sodom and Gomorrah look good. And God looked at them and said, you know what? You're worse than them. I'm gonna bless them more than I'm gonna bless you. They got destroyed, but I'm gonna fuck you guys over even more. And I don't know what you do with that. I don't know how you destroy somebody and fuck them up even more. But there was definitely a pecking order. And that's the same thing that's happening here. Christians right now, the church right now, is doing such evil bullshit that it's making, let's be honest. If you were to look at Christians versus Democrats right now, not that there can't be Christian Democrats, but, well, if you look at Republicans versus Democrats, ask me honestly, which one is more evil? The Democrats? Because, now here's the thing, I can understand Christians be like, well, the Democrats, they don't want God. They don't want God. Yeah, they don't want God because it's not what this country is based upon. They don't want to tell somebody, yeah, you've got to believe this, you've got to believe that. The Democrats are basically saying, hey, guess what? You can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. That's the point of the country. Where Republicans are like, oh, you've got to be Christian or you're going to, blah, blah, blah. You don't deserve any voice if you're not a Christian. That's not what the country's about. No, I think we need some legitimate Christian voices that make sense. But when they're sitting there with their political bullshit and they're putting that first and foremost, guys like Huckabee give me the shits. They give me the absolute shits. Because they would rather be Republican first than Jesus boy with the Bible thumping across the country. And it pisses me off. You got all this time and energy to put into bullshit, then, you know what? That's on you. And I'm going to be honest with you, it pisses me straight the fuck off every time I see it. I can't even look at Huckabee without getting disgusted. I can't even look at Jim Baker without being disgusted by their bullshit. It angers me so fucking much, man. And then, yeah, I'm the one who's coming across as being off. Because I don't support my fellow Christians. I don't support them doing bullshit. I don't support them wallowing in their own self-pity and bullshit. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. Like, oh, we're gonna take away healthcare because because it takes people away from the belief, their God-given right to pray it away. What the fuck does any of that even mean? And of course, Groz is like, well, at least it gives you a reason to pray. Anything to get you to pray. That is so stupid. That's just dumb. That's dumb. I understand what he's saying, and I don't mean it, as an attack, but that's just kind of stupid. I mean, yes, he's right technically, but that's not the point. That's not the point. I don't know, man. It's like these people are so entrenched in their own bullshit that they can't even, seriously, they're literally just keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. They can't even look up. They don't even see sunlight anymore. That's how deep in bullshit they are. And it's sad. It's kind of disgusting at the same time, because the church is supposed to be put on a pedestal. We're supposed to be right. That's what I'm telling you right now. I believe this. I believe this was a thing. I am not one of these people who talk about words from God. Like God spoke to me, because again, the stiffs don't understand it. People think, oh, you're hearing voices. No, it's not hearing voices. It's more of, you think you have a question, and all of a sudden the answer kind of comes to you, and you're like, oh, that could work. That's what it means when God speaks to you. It's not like, hey, heart thought. No, it's not. You're not hearing a voice from heaven. It's not. People need to get that, and non-Christians need to get that too, and stop being stupid about that. But I honestly believe that God did speak to me that one time. That the falling away, what it talks about in the end times, I'm honest. I'm going to be honest. I think the church itself is so Laodicean. Again, you look at the 7 churches. That was not just randomized bullshit. That is actually talking about, and I believe this, time periods. Each church was a time period. Now, they were all together at like one point in time, but they were representations of different points. And that last one was Laodicean. They were the lukewarm church. That's where we are right now. We are so lukewarm that we don't even realize it. And Christ said He will spit the lukewarm from His mouth. He will basically shat us out, is what He's going to do. And that's where we are right now as a collective church. We are Laodicean, and we need to understand that. And it's because of this bullshit Republican concept. Now, you can be a Republican and not be an asshole. You don't need to take away somebody's health care. You don't need to build a fucking wall. Again, just because a Republican comes up with an idea doesn't mean you got to go hook, line, and sinker with it. I can look at the Democrats and say, hey, you know what? I think there's some merit to what they're saying. Could we help children? Could we help kids with their college tuition? There's so much money out there. We're giving trillions of dollars to Pakistan each year. We're giving trillions of dollars back to frickin' rich people who don't need it, and are just going to put it in a frickin' offshore account somewhere. They're not going to invest it in their jobs. That is such a fallacy and bullshit. Don't even get me started. You're telling me we couldn't take even 1 year and help take away some debt? Just because it's the right thing to do? That's so bad. That's so evil and un-American and ungodly. How? If it helps somebody not dwell on, gee, I have $80,000,000,000,000 worth of debt for like 10 minutes so that they can have some peace of mind, how is that a negative thing? How is that a bad thing? Well, they didn't work for it. They didn't work for it. Christians saying that, talking about you don't work, you don't eat, and work requirement. Do you understand? That pisses me off. Not because it affects me personally. It pisses me off because Adam, when he was thrown from the Garden of Eden, when him and Eve were jettisoned, I don't think he the next day was like, I worked really hard today, Eve. Ha 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 ha! Look at me, I'm really good at my job. Ha ha! I tended the barren field because we have no food now because it was all in the fucking garden and we got nothing out here but berries and bullshit. You know, reveling in your own stink. And again, talk about, oh, Christian nation, Christian nation. Okay, rugged individualism, that is not Christian. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, that is not Christian. The whole point of a God, the whole point of the reason we need a God is so that when we get to the end of ourselves and we've exhausted our own strength, we look to Him. That's the whole fucking point of it. That's what it all comes down to. You have lost control of your own bullshit and you need to look to Him. It's the same concept walking on water. You know, you lose faith, you start to sink, and you're like, ho ho ho, and Jesus reaches out your hand because you have lost your everything that is you. You have lost that, and you need to look to Him. That's the whole point of it all. And when you put that in perspective with everything else, rugged individualism is not that. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps is not that. I can't pull myself up by my bootstraps. I'm not even talking physically. I'm talking spiritually, mentally, anything else. And I will say again, how dare Christians, and whatever, how dare Christians of any caliber disown and trash God's provision for somebody else, whether that's government assistance or not. How dare we do that? How dare we do that? That is God's provision for us. That is what He wants us to have. I'm not saying it's good in the Republican sense. And the only reason the Republicans don't like it is because they don't want to pay for it. Yet you got born-again Christians who are worrying about how we're going to pay for it. Who the fuck cares how we're going to pay for it? Do you care? Seriously, as a Christian, do you give a flying fuck how Canada is going to pay for their immigration policy? Do you care how? No, you don't care. Because we are aliens and strangers just passing through. This is not our home. This is not our country. Our home is in heaven. So again, do you give a fuck what how Canada's going to pay for their health care? Do you care? No. Unless you're going to implement it yourself here. Do you really give a fuck? No. Is it there? Yes. Does it work? Apparently. I wouldn't know because I don't have health care anymore because the fuckers took it away because I wasn't making the money. And let's put healthcare in the free market. Fuck you. Fuck your capitalism. Fuck your free market when it comes to healthcare. Whether I live or die should not be based upon whether some cocksucker gets to make a fucking dime off of it. Fuck him. Fuck that. Fuck you. That's all I got to say on that bullshit. So fuck you. Take your free market and shove it up your free market ass, you fuck ass. You scumbag cocksuckers anyway. Fuck you. There's your free fucking market right up my fucking ass, you assholes. Bastards. People going to hell. People fucking dying, literally, in the fucking streets. And they're like, oh, did I make a dime off it? Oh. Government healthcare should be a thing. You want to know why government healthcare should be a thing? And I know this is going to piss off a lot of Republicans. Small government, small government. You know why? You know why? Because first, there's the blind eye of justice. Because, you know what? Here's the thing. You got people like Glenn Beck who think we should go back to 1930, breadlines and bullshit. But hey, whatever. And people like him are like, oh, our churches should be giving out food. It should be doing it that way. Yeah, you know what? You go in and you get a can of corn, right? You go and get a fucking can of corn. You know how long I could live off a can of fucking corn and some oatmeal? Seriously? from the food pantry at church. Yeah, you have any fucking idea how long that's gonna last? About 2 minutes. Fuck you. The way it's set up is perfect because that money goes and propagates sales to your local stores. Now, yeah, Walmart wants their tax breaks, but they don't want to take away. This is interesting. Places like Walmart and different Chamber of Commerce and bullshit like that, they don't want to take away food stamps. They don't want to take away health care, like Medicaid and all that bullshit. They don't want to take those things away because they want their tax cuts, but they also want money coming back in because it goes into their shit. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. That's the beauty of it. And they're getting double kickback basically. They're getting their taxes and then they're getting government money sent to them. They're making money off the government by doing that. And yet, brain dead Christians like, oh, they're using you. And the thing that pisses me off, and I don't care if you're right or left, I don't give a fuck what center, middle, whatever. Your political sports team doesn't give a flying fuck about you. The Democrats don't care about you. Obama doesn't care about you. Trump doesn't give a all these Trumpers. Oh my God, Trump is so great. Trump wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. He doesn't give a flying fuck about you. You're a political party, the Koch brothers, fucking Paul Ryan. We have this idea, oh, rah, 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 for the fucking home team. Bullshit. They don't fucking care about you at all. Paul motherfucking Ryan doesn't give a rat's fucking ass about abortion. Republicans don't give two shits about abortion. They just simply don't want to pay for that motherfucker. It's the only reason that's a problem. I'm telling you right now, if abortion was in the free market, you wouldn't hear Republicans talk about it once. Roe v. Wade, no, they don't give a fuck about Roe v. Wade. Planned Parenthood wouldn't give a fuck about Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood was being funded through other means other than government assistance, bullshit, and whatever it is. You wouldn't hear talk one about it. They'd be aborting babies left and fucking right, coat hangers and cutting off arms and legs and bullshit. And it's a fact. It's a fucking fact. And you got the Christians, oh, they're Republicans stand up for abortion. No, they don't. They don't stand up for abortion. They stand up for the fact of not having to pay for abortion. And that's two different things, and people need to get that very quickly. Your fucking home team doesn't give a fuck about you, and you need to grasp that. All the while you're cheering them on, and you're like, yay, go home team. No, you ain't the 12th man, motherfucker. You're the 12th kick in the dick because you're a fool. I don't know, man. It just really, really upsets me on multiple levels. And like I said, nothing, absolutely nothing, except lies and bullshit. And like I said, I don't think they meant to lie to us, but they did. They did. They lied to us on multiple levels. And again, I'm going to keep talking about this. The hatred that I had for Bill Clinton. And I had love for George Bush, and it was like, hey, the Bushes, hey, thank God they won. Al Gore, no, Al Gore was an idiot though. I wasn't a fan of Al Gore. Just Al Gore, it sounded like a fucking robot with a dick up its ass. I don't know, man. It's just I don't like being manipulated, and they manipulated me, whether they meant to or not. They manipulated us. And not only politically, I mean, RCCS did a lot of manipulation. Oh, Pasta Carl and Pasta Stevens and blah, blah, blah. And Stevens' 7 principles. It wasn't God's 7 principles, it was Stevens' 7 principles. And we had to recite that shit. What was it? I can't remember what they were. I can't remember what they were, but I remember that little cheesy-ass Elaine voice. Remember when we had to recite that shit? I can't even think of what they were, to be honest with you. But we had that little fucking tone, that little girly tone, because the girls were always the ones who would yell that shit out, and we were just kind of like, we're just kind of mumbling it. It had that little high pitched, squeaky girl voice. Pastor, what was it? No, it was Dr. Stevens' seven principles. Dr. Stevens' seven principles. And we talk in that monotone. It's just, oh my god. It's just, like I said, I don't like the idea that we were being manipulated, and we were being manipulated on multiple levels, man. And again, I don't think they did it purposely. Honest to God, I don't think Pastor Simmons, almost said Simpson. Pastor Simmons did it purposely. I don't think Graz did it purposely. I mean, Graz could be a prick, but he wasn't that kind of a prick, you know. Pastor Morton, I honestly don't know what Pastor Morton's deal was. And yeah, I am still a little pissed off about how he treated my mother on her deathbed. She's dying of cancer, and he accuses her of taking an evil report, and that's why she had cancer, and that he threatened her job. That I'm gonna be honest with you, that pisses me off to this day. It was almost 20 years ago, and it pisses me off to this day. It angers me to this day. It's unresolved, and it pisses me off. And I said some very hurtful things, and I admit this. It is what it is. But again, I don't want to trash Pastor Moore. I really don't. I honestly believe he meant well. He did have a weird obsession with Stevens. Again, I don't want to hate the guy. I really don't hate him. I really don't. He pissed me off a lot, but I don't hate him. I want to make that clear. But again, that whole thing with my mother, she was making like $300 a week, and we were doing pretty good. She took half of that to go work at the church. She's bringing home like $150 a week. Cut her paycheck in half, and then when the church wasn't doing so good, they cut her again. She was making like $70 a week, and that motherfucker had the nerve to say to her, "Why don't you go home without pay and think about if you really want to work here?" Because she was going through chemo and didn't want to walk across the parking lot to go to the church because they were in those the housing little section there where the offices were, and she had to walk across the yard. And she's like, I don't really want to go over there right now, basically, and I don't feel like I'm going to get anything out of it anyway. And all of a sudden that equates to she's taking in an evil report, and therefore God gave her cancer because, she came against the ministry. Well, you know what? Fuck the ministry. I come against the ministry. I rebuke the ministry. Fuck the ministry. Give me cancer, motherfucker. I'll show you. I'll fuck you. I'll beat that motherfucker. I'll rip the fucking thing out myself. I'll gnaw the fucker right out. I don't give a fuck where you put it. Put it in my dick, I'll gnaw that fucker off too. Stupid bullshit. Evil report. And all that shit was nothing more than to cushion and to protect Stevens from his own bullshit. The whole fucking thing with the secretaries and the indiscretion with the kids and all that other bullshit. That's all it was. Just to protect their fucking little empire of faggotry. That's all it was. And they want to make up these fucking doctrines. I got a doctrine. How about the doctrine go fuck yourself? Go eat a dick. How about that doctrine, you scumbag fucks? That's all it came down to. Because that was the beauty. Oh, pasta. Double on it. Pasta can't do anything bad. I'm sorry, but where in church doctrine, in church politics, does the congregation have a right to say, hey, guess what? I think the pastor's full of fucking shit. I think he needs to repent for Jesus, and I think he's wrong. Under Pastor Stevens, oh no, he's protected. He can do no wrong. You can do wrong. You have sex with your secretary. No. My kids do it. Well, he's covered under the blood. There's always a goddamn excuse why they can do stuff and you can't. And that is what fucking irritates my cock to the fucking point of rubbing raw. Absolutely pisses me off. And yet I have this belief, oh, they meant well, they meant well. No, I'll be honest with you, I don't think they meant well. Because if they were, dude, if they're so nut deep in fucking politics, Republican bullshit politics, then they didn't give a flying fuck about us back in the day. They only cared about their goddamn politics and their goddamn Republican bullshit. And if they're that fucking entrenched in their own filth and their own assy bullshit, then guess what? They didn't give a fuck about us back in the day either. So I keep having this internal struggle where it's like, oh, they meant well, they meant well, they meant well. I've seen Christians and I've seen Republicans. They don't mean well. They don't mean well for me. They don't mean well for you. They only want to toe the fucking party line. If the party says, yeah, you know what, no health care for you, they're like, oh, okay, we don't need health care. Oh, God, we'll pray to God. They'll take away the sickness. We'll pray to God. Okay, listen. I get it. I understand it. I'm a born-again Christian. I believe, prayer is good. Prayer is powerful. Get it. But I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, no doctor because I want to pray my cancer away. Fuck that. Okay, fuck that bullshit. I don't know, man. I get really irritated. I get really upset. I get really, really upset over stupid shit, man. It's just certain things. Oh, anyways, you know what? I want to end this because I'm hungry and I want to get some dinner. And you know what? That's for the Republican Party. Fuck you.